Wherever you're watching us from, welcome back again. It's the Inside Show. And my name is Menyata Ronald. I'm delighted to be with you again once after some time. Today I'm so delighted because in the show, we shall be having a book launch. I know most of you are into watching movies and everything, but I want to remind you that find time and read some books. That's why today, with me, we shall be launching a book by Irene Ageno, and the title of the book is A Poem for Every Mood. Whatever mood you are in right now, we shall need to tune that. So, with me in the studio, I'm joined by Irene, the real writer behind this. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It is always very hard to have a conversation with people who are writers because these are people of learned brain and everything. But just give us an overview of who you are before we get to this special gift.
Okay, thank you so much for hosting me. Um, I go by the author name Irene Ageno Julu,
Hmm.
and today with me, I have a new publication, A Poem for Every Mood, a collection of extreme emotions. So, as a writer, poetry is part of me.
Hmm.
I can't do without poetry. So, it speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the collection took quite some time, of about 10 years,
10
in
years?
compiling, writing, and actually, there are some poems that didn't make it to this collection because there were so many.
Okay.
Yes.
10 years, maybe you can take us through what it takes to write a book. Because if you're talking of 10 years, it must be something that has really been cooked for so long. And launching it today makes it even more special. Why that long?
Okay. For this specific publication, it was intentionally delayed because I was after achieving certain stories that I think if I had published earlier on,
Mm.
I wouldn't have got them right. But
Okay.
like with writing, you
Mm.
can even write within a year. You can write in 6 months, in few weeks. It depends on what you're writing about. It depends on your research level. It
Mm.
depends on your focus. It depends also on resources. But for this specific collection, it's a bit lengthy
Mm.
because with poetry, you can actually even have like 40 pages of poetry and publish.
Mm.
But for me to communicate what I wanted, I had to give it that much long.
It's just like the way they say the best wine is always for some good period of time.
Yes, so for some writings, you have to give yourself time to
Mm.
get it right,
Mm.
because it is not about how fast I can publish. It is more like the stories or what you're focusing on. How
Mm.
well can you have them?
Mm. But having a look here, I've seen this is not your first publication. You've written quite some other books.
Yeah.
Could you highlight on some of those books that maybe we may not know?
Okay. Professionally, I started writing in 2013 with
Mm.
my very first publication, titled Inspiration with Prose and Poetry. It was it was published by a company called FRS God. They are located in Tinda.
Okay. Kampala.
Yes. But I started writing at a very early stage. I have several books that are unpublished that I wrote way back when I was much younger in primary school. But professionally, I can say I started publishing in 2013. Then I shifted from poetry and published a play that actually did very well internationally. That is Testimony of a Hospitable Nation. It is a play.
Okay.
Then besides that, now I have this, a poem for every mood. So I can say I've published 3 books, though I have like more than 10 books.
Wow.
That I've written, and some are not yet even complete. So a poem for every mood, it is just one of the books that were delayed, but there's so many others that are still delayed.
It's like a drop in the ocean.
Yes, but they are coming like one by one. I'll be releasing them. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. What makes me even so surprised is you've written a poem,
Yes.
and in this dynamic kind of environment, why a poem? Out of all these other things you've written about, maybe you'd have written a novel, you'd have written a book, or any other kind of a writing. Why poems?
Okay.
Is it because they're short to write, or it's just
Okay, I'm also writing a novel that is incomplete. But why poetry? I am a poet and I love poetry so much. The way poetry communicates is slightly different than the way novels or plays communicate. So specifically for this book, A Poem for Every Mood, I was inspired by what people go through. Then I realized that to tell these stories, I cannot have it in a novel or a play. It would be too, I will not really cut through all of them. But if I write a collection of poetry, it gives me the opportunity to talk a lot, though brief, but I cut through different topics and still have them as one. For instance, when you the readers get to read this book, that I know you definitely love some of the pieces, I talk a lot about certain societal issues that we go through them, but actually we don't have the voice to hear them out. So fortunately, I have that, being a media person and a writer, I have that opportunity to bring some of those issues to light. I've written about albinism, what albinos go through. That is something that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
I've written about street vendors. I've written about maids. So, like, if I was to have that in a novel, I could not piece them
You
together.
could
Like,
just be
I had to
one.
give each person a voice of their own. And I realized I can do that in poetry and still communicate the exact thing that I wanted you, my audience, to get to know.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
really quite interesting. But for someone who is going to read this,
Yes.
before they read this book, what is that kind of take-home thing you expect them to have at the end of reading this beautiful book?
Okay. First of all, my inspiration to write this book is the message. So I looked at myself as stepping in the footsteps of others to have a voice for them. So when you read this book, A Poem for Every Mood, mood change all the time. You can be happy, you can be sad, you can be bitter.
And it's
Uh,
common in Uganda these days. Our
yes,
moods keep changing almost every
yes.
time.
But I realize that whatever mood we have,
Mm.
we need to have hope at the end. We need to have love and we need to have faith. So I try to summarize it together in three major themes of love, hope, and faith. So when someone reads this book, I expect them to have hope, have faith, and to have love. It,
Mm.
this is what we expect in everyday life. If we can't have those three, then there's no reason to live.
Sure.
So when you read this book, you expect someone is talking to you, someone is giving you hope that whatever situation you think you're going through, you're not alone. Someone else is going through the
Through the
same.
same thing.
Yeah.
So you're trying to step in for them.
Exactly.
You're the voice of the voiceless.
Exactly. So I know there are so many other people doing the same thing, but basically, I was just trying to say whatever you're going through, we understand. We may not be there, but we also understand what you're going through.
Before I come to maybe ask you something about this other photo you're seeing, the book cover, it's very interesting. It's the first thing that really captured my attention here.
Okay.
But before we come to talk about this, we get to know that people get inspired by different people they look up to. Who are some of the people who really inspired you into writing? Who are some of them? You can mention one or two.
Okay. I think when I was much younger, I was reading a lot of fairy tales, like those books like Cinderella, Rapunzel, what. But specifically, when I grew up, writers like Chinua Achebe, some of those African authors really write like real life stories that people can connect to. So they really inspired me. Though we're writing fiction, you can actually write a realistic fiction that any person can relate to easily in their daily lives. There are so many inspiration I get from other writers, though I may not mention all of them, but there are good African writers that have inspired so many of us to write. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are quite many. I think when I was growing up, it was a must to read at least more than 4 novels before you could go to the next class or something like that. So
Yes.
we get inspired by some of those great men and women who used to write. Though these days we don't see a lot of them living with us. But now let's come back here. This cover book is really so impressive. It's really so impressive. What is the story behind this cover book? It could be maybe a mango, an elephant, or something, but you've chosen this quite beautiful picture. What's the story behind this?
Okay, so specifically, when you look at this book cover, you realize it's like the setting sun. Then at a certain point, you may also take it to be like the rising sun. So that is me saying whatever darkness that you're facing, at the end of the day, the sun will rise and the day will begin.
Okay.
Or if the sun in your life is setting, you should also remember that the sun sets and rises. So there is need for hope. That's why you see the darkness you see down there. shouldn't stop you from believing that better things are yet to come, because there's light.
Okay.
We should have faith.
That's all
Yes,
about
that's
faith
that's
and
why the major themes in this book is love, hope, and faith. We can't do without the three. They are related. Yes, so you can't be hopeful and yet you're not a believer. You have to believe that you'll be fine. You have to believe that you'll wake up tomorrow and life continues.
life continues.
Yes, so that is the inspiration behind the book cover.
Okay, that is. I think you communicate a lot through writings and the graphics and everything.
Yeah.
From the look of this book alone,
Mm.
you're already speaking a lot of volumes. But now, where can people access this book? Is it online? Is it in some libraries? Or how do you intend to market this? And where can people really get this book from?
Okay. As of now, we have just launched this book, and we have copies, and we intend to have more copies in libraries within Kampala, in university libraries, in bookstores within Kampala and outside Kampala, all over East Africa. We're going to have a marketing strategy that cuts across, and also we shall go international and still have them elsewhere for our international readers.
Yeah.
Yes.
What price tag are you putting on it?
Okay, for Ugandan buyers, it goes for 30,000 Ugandan shillings, and our international buyers, it goes for roughly $10.
Okay. To be precise, if someone is to, maybe someone wants to buy,
Yeah.
how and where can they get you? Or where can they get this book?
Okay. For now, they can DM me and we deliver directly to them as we work on having it in the bookstores. There are several bookstores within Uganda, and we're going to partner with them to have the book in the bookstores, just like other books that we published before.
All right.
Yes.
I think that's okay. But before I let you go, maybe you should inspire some of the writers out there, because if you don't inspire them, some of their dreams may get shattered. Me personally, I started writing, but then I think I didn't have someone to inspire me. My first book, Feast of Sparrows, it just vanished in thin air. Then afterwards, I got a second book called Tale of Intimacy. It came through, it also went. So please, you need to inspire someone out there, the young writers or someone who wants to start writing. You inspire them.
Okay. I think what I can say that is it can maybe be helpful to someone is, if you don't start writing now, you will not start. Because writing is a process. You're not going to say, I'm going to write for 1 month and have my work published. You will not publish content which is viable, which is well researched, which someone can connect to. So you have to take your time. You need focus. Focus is very important. It doesn't matter how many years you take to write, but you have to focus on the goal. For this book, it took me 10 years to arrive at it. But I can say that I started as early as 2015. And in 2015, the cover was already there. The book cover was already there. The title was already there. It was only the content. So, like, the content I wanted, I think my younger self of 10 years ago wouldn't publish this book the way it is. Yes, because people really grow along the way. So as you read the book that took 10 years to complete. I don't think it would have been the same if I published it in 2015.
Mm.
Yes. So to my writers outside there, start writing today, because writing communicates a lot. There are so many issues, there are so many topics, there are so many inspiration. Someone is waiting just by looking at what you've written. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that is okay. Before I let you go and you give maybe your final remarks to our viewers out there, for those who've just joined us, I'm blessed, or I have that opportunity today. I've been having Irene Ageno Julu, who is a writer, a journalist, a media personality, an economist. All these titles is enshrined in this show today. So if you've just joined us, please go back a little bit and start from the beginning of it and get inspired. And because today we are launching this very book, A Poem for Every Mood, which has a collection of like 100 poems with different moods coming through. So maybe you feel a given mood, you just go and pick one poem, read through, meditate upon it, and you get relieved. So, my friend,
Yes.
you can give us your final remarks regarding the book, and we see how we can conclude.
Okay, regarding this book specifically, A Poem for Every Mood, a collection of extreme emotions. So, just like the title says it all, we're talking about emotions.
Mm.
I didn't call it just emotions. I had to call it extreme emotions, because some of the topics that I've written about touches very important issues in society that we have been neglecting. So I thought maybe if someone speaks about it, maybe it can raise concern to those who can help us get in touch with that section of the community that are facing such problems. So what I can say, in summary, this book is not about me, it is about us. A Poem for Every Mood is about all of us. It's not about Irene, the writer. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, our dear viewers. It's been me, Menyata, and I think it has been a successful one. This has been the Insight Show, a production of the Campasa Media. And hopefully we meet again. Don't forget to follow us on all your social media handles and also ours. That is TikTok, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, the Campasa Media. Can't wait to see you again. Ciao.